Hey, welcome to Dr. Todd Talks. There's a topic that I want to talk about today. It's something I've been thinking about for a long time. Some people I describe as relationship destroyers. They destroy all of their relationships in their lives. And other people are relationship healers. I know a relationship destroyer or two. I've worked with them. And so I wonder out loud, can somebody who has spent a lifetime destroying their relationships, can they become a healer? Can they change and actually heal those relationships that they've destroyed? And if so, how? How do they do that? And that's what I want to explore with you today. I want to tell you about a woman that I've worked with for many years. We're going to call her Stacy. That's not her real name. Stacy destroys her relationships. She's destroyed them all. I know it comes from trauma. She was traumatized as a child. She continues to seem, although she's a woman in her mid 40s, she seems like a 13-year-old girl, which is when her trauma occurs. I care about her but I can also see that her emotional growth has been stunted for years. And so I get where her relationship destroying comes from, but it still has caused so much harm in her life and it's left her such an unhappy woman. And so I've thought about her and others. What can we do? And if we look at Stacy, she's destroyed her relationship with her husband. She's lied, she's screamed, she's hit him, she's cheated on him many times over the years, multiple affairs. With her kids, who now can barely tolerate her. Again, she screams, she's gotten physical with them, she blows up on them. And here's the pattern with Stacy. When she gets caught or when somebody comes back at her, she'll feel bad, but really just for a moment. She can't handle uncomfortable feelings. She's never been able to tolerate discomfort. And so she'll push it away and she'll put people away. And she might say, I told you I was sorry. And then act like that's good enough. She'll go on like nothing else has happened. And if you continue to be upset at Stacy, she'll turn it back on you. And now, for example, her kids are grown and they don't come to her for love and support. She wishes they did, and she's baffled why they don't. They don't trust her because she broke that trust long ago. And I think about her, and if I had a magic wand, I don't have, but if I had a magic wand, what would it take for me to help Stacy go from someone who destroys her relationships to someone who can heal those same relationships? And is that possible for her? Well, here's what I believe it takes. And I've given some thought to this. And this is what I want to talk about in the video today. And if it can help Stacy or if it can help anyone here who wants to heal their relationships, even if you're not a full blown, like Stacy, a full blown relationship destroyer, if you've hurt somebody in your relationships, what can you do? How can you become the one who heals that relationship? So I want to talk about the magic of repair. This is the key. This is how we become healers. And I've got several steps I want to outline for you. And the first one is odd. You have to be humble. If I were talking to Stacy, I would plead with her to be humble. A lot of people resist being humble because they think it makes them feel weak. But here's the truth. It takes a lot of courage, a lot of strength to really own up to what you've done, to really face it. That is real strength. Step number two, you have to own your role in how you've harmed that person. Stacy blames others. If somebody comes to her with a problem, she turns it right back on them. She just can't tolerate the discomfort. So she'll never take ownership for bad behavior. The thing is that you can't fix what you don't own. If you think you don't have a problem, then of course you're never going to be able to fix that problem. Alcoholics Anonymous has this cool saying to sweep your side of the street. And when we're trying to repair relationships, it's easy for us to want to blame others or at least share blame with others. That's not the way to do it. You focus on your side of the street. You focus on sweeping your side of the street. You just take full ownership for what you've done. That's the only thing you need to worry about. Step number three is accountability, which kind of comes from owning your role. And accountability really means that you are beginning to change. And here's the cool thing. You don't have to be changed in order to repair a relationship. You don't have to be anybody different than who you are. You just have to start trying to change. That's the key. Okay. Now, the next step, number 4, is learn how to apologize, but I call it apologizing correctly. Apologize in the right way. A lot of people mess this up. They might say, I'm sorry that you felt that way, which is really deflecting blame on the other person. You say what you are apologizing about and you leave everything else out. So you say, I hurt you. I was wrong. You just, again, that's just owning it, right? The next step, number 5, is to verbalize your intentions. And what I mean is that you say it out loud to the person that you hurt. You tell them, look, I hurt you. I'm sorry for hurting you. And my intention is to change who I am because I want a better relationship with you. So for Stacy with her kids, I've thought of a number of things she could say. She could say, I've been emotionally absent from you your whole life. And I feel so deeply regretful of that. And I want to change. I want to be present for you. Or she could just say, I yelled and screamed and exploded on you, and you didn't deserve that. You were just a kid. And I was taking anger out on you, and that's on me. And I want to change. I want to be different with you as a mom. So when you verbalize your intentions, you're just letting them know, I want to fix things with you. And they need to hear that. Now, you're going to come up with some resistance. Like, people are not going to believe you. So one key thing I want you to keep in mind is that have to give this some time. Stacy is very impatient. If she says she's sorry, she thinks it should be over and you should just move on. This is not a quick fix. Trust is not something that you just get by trying. You have to do it over time. So be patient, because honestly, they shouldn't trust you right away. You have let them down, or you have hurt that person before. So just be consistent. Just show good actions, good behaviors consistently over time. Again, you will meet resistance. That's okay. You should expect resistance. It's okay for them to not believe you, to push you away, to not warm up to you. What I want you to do when you will meet resistance is to stay humble, stay owning what you've done, and continue to verbalize your intentions. Okay. Now, last thing you can do, I want you to listen without defensiveness. The best repair and the most painful repair is understanding the harm that you've caused. And so it takes the ability to listen without trying to defend yourself. Okay. One of the most beautiful things I've seen in my work with moms and dads, husbands and wives, kids, is when somebody really finally breaks through their defensive patterns and they listen to and take ownership of the impact it's had on others. When you do that, when you really listen, now you're not responding, you're not coming back at them. When you listen and you own it, and you say it out loud, that softens people. It softens hearts almost immediately. I've seen relationship destroyers become relationship healers. I've seen broken trust rebuilt over time. And I know that nobody is beyond repair, even Stacy, and even you. Even if you have not been a complete relationship destroyer, but if you've hurt somebody or if you have a relationship that needs repair, just take this first step. It's worth it to have that relationship again. And that can start today. So to recap, we begin with humility. We identify what our role was and we own it, and we take accountability by beginning to change. And then we verbalize our intentions to that person. We sincerely apologize to them. That's what owning it is. And then we remember that this is not quick. It takes patience on our part. We don't blame them. We don't judge them. We listen to them and we validate the hurts that we've caused. I've seen people who destroy relationships, heal relationships. This is what it takes, and it'll be worth it. Okay, until next time, this is Dr. Todd Talks. If this message spoke to you in any way, hit like, subscribe, and just share this with somebody who needs to hear it today. You can also check out my Dr. Todd Talks podcast on your favorite podcast player. And you can visit my website, drtoddtalks.com. There's lots of free resources on my website. I have free videos, I have articles, and I also have a parenting course called Connection and Credibility. Here is where I teach you how to be a connected parent. And if you're not, how to repair that connection, which is kind of what we're talking about today. how to build connection. Credible means you are a parent who means what you say. It means you have structures and boundaries, but I teach you to do this in a way that the structure and boundaries actually bring intimacy and bring closeness with your family.